With shock, the kid sees how the space rock is draining all the water out of the aquarium alongside his fish from flying right at him and conceals under the bed with sickening dread. A little shining ball breaks into the young men's room and terrains in a goldfish tank. After 90 days, a huge blazing shooting star approaches Earth and crashes at the sculpture of Freedom in New York. A totally safe man rises from the subsequent cavity. He seems to be a standard individual, however his further conduct gives uncertainty to his sufficiency. A radiant enormous body is moving towards the Earth. On the way, the article incidentally crashes into a satellite, after which it goes off kilter and flies towards New York at rapid. A kid named Josh Morrison notices the brilliant sky through his home telescope. He sees something blazing flying right at him and conceals under the bed with sickening dread. A little gleaming ball breaks into the kid's room and grounds and a goldfish tank. Gina, the kid's mom, concludes that it was the local children who crushed the window with a baseball. After 90 days, a huge red-hot shooting star approaches Earth and crashes at the sculpture of Freedom in New York. A totally safe man ascends from the subsequent cavity. He seems to be a normal individual, however, his further conduct gives uncertainty to his sufficiency. With the assistance of some undetectable power, the visitor from space cleans his snow-white suit of soil and moves along the dike with a weird entryway. The stunned lady approaches the person in question, trusting that he may do. The man rapidly recuperates, yet Gina sees that his leg is turned unnaturally. The lady needs to call an emergency vehicle, yet the strange man vanishes before she can settle on the decision. The shocked woman runs up to the victim, hoping that he survived. The man quickly recovers, but Gina notices that his leg is twisted unnaturally. The woman wants to call an ambulance, but the unusual man disappears before she can make the call. Constrained by many little humanoid animals, an independent division is liable for each activity of the android transport, which is situated in a specific piece of the body. In the top of the robot is the skipper of the space transport, which very closely resembles the boat itself, planned in its similarity. One of the subordinates reports to the chief that because of a surprising crash, the framework lacked the opportunity to actuate the defensive fields in spite of the way that the boat will actually want to keep on working. Its charge will last a limit of 2 days on Earth time. To save it, 3 months ago they sent a device to Earth that was supposed to dry up all the oceans. Salt extracted from the water will be able to provide their planet with a supply of energy for many centuries to come. To save it, 3 months prior they sent a gadget to Earth that should evaporate every one of the seas. Salt extricated from the water will actually want to give their planet a stock of energy for a long time to come. The group starts the mission and just the commander, his representative, Number 2 and associate Number 3 stay in the control place to make the android more human. Number 3 Googles more data about individuals. She worriedly illuminates the commander that the depleting regarding the Earth can prompt the passing of the planet. However, he thinks often minimal about the future destiny of the Earthlings. Joke informs his mother concerning a bizarre man under their windows. She remembers him as the person in question and goes down the stairs to apologize to him for the mishap with fervor. The humanoids plan for the primary verbal contact with a human. The young lady sends Kid around to school and welcomes the outsider to her home. To get him breakfast, the man consents to the proposition and presents himself as Dave Ming Chen, shaped from the most well-known human names. The humanoids inside the robot check out qualities loft with interest. Furthermore, attempt to learn new exercises for themselves. For example, preparing breakfast. The commander sees a photograph of Joke from a science fair introducing the space rock as his science project. Having found his fundamental objective, orders the humanoids to find the young men area. Meanwhile, cops Dooley and Knox go to Liberty Island to find the cause of a mysterious crater. Knox is not too excited about the new task, unlike his partner who is serious about solving the case. He cautiously looks at the ground and makes a cast of a human face which is engraved in the dirt. After the official convey a direction for a man all through the city, Dave heads outside, attempting to follow Josh around. Alarmed by the new revelation, Dave runs out of the store en route. The humanoids keep on concentrating on people and understand that their reality isn't awful in any case. Number 2 sees just the horrendous in the Earthlings and talks with disdain about their activities. Dave's suit draws in the consideration of passers by something over the top. So the skipper chooses to go out to shop for new garments in the store. The robot makes an honest effort to look ordinary, yet at the same time gets the amazed looks of clients to pay for the buy. Dave goes to the fitting room where he prints cash through his rear. And, at long last, the robot arrives at the school. The chief airs Dave for another educator and sends him to kids' group, having concocted an undertaking for the youngsters. However, they don't find the domineering jerk there. Furnished burglars burst into the store and significantly scared guests. Dave brings down the desperados easily and breaks their weapons, which pleasures Joke. The kid welcomes Dave to go with him and his mother to the fair tomorrow, which could incorporate Rich. Number 2 exhorts the chief not to squander valuable life on this and proposes that they quickly go looking for the domineering jerk. The skipper disagrees with the partner and means to stay with the kid to enroll. His assist with joking around brings Dave to his home where he appreciates playing computer games. Gina gets back and the kid excitedly informs her concerning how the man managed the looters. Kid around unfortunately comments that he might want to be pretty much as large and solid as him so he wouldn't be harassed at school. Dave consoles the kid by expressing that in the immeasurability of the universe, the most splendid energy comes from the littlest stars. In appreciation for saving her child expands the gamble of being uncovered, yet the man disregards the admonitions and consents to supper at night. Dave appreciates the canvas that Gina has painted. The young lady says that the composition portrays the sentiments she had for her dead spouse. What's more, sits close to a vagrant. The man imparts his sweeping to the robot to keep it warm around evening time. The chief is stunned by the great deed of the vagrant and understands that the earthlings are not as horrible as they suspected at initial. A day spent on Earth changed numerous humanoids. Because of what they saw, they started to have an interest in moving craftsmanship, and in any event, being a tease. Number 3 keeps awake until late in the control community, and the skipper comes to see her, who likewise can't rest. The young lady reports that she has found a fascinating record that each earthling should observe one time per year. She welcomes the skipper to watch it together to all the more likely comprehend human instinct. It ends up being the cliché Christmas film called It's a Brilliant Lie. The outsiders watch with tears in their eyes as the hero of the film offers his dearest to get too much from the sky. A heartfelt flash runs between the skipper and number 3, yet they stop themselves and hit the sack. In the wake of winning a delicate frog toe, the humanoids botch it for an outsider beast that went after them. One day sooner or later they understand that the toy is innocuous, and Dave gives it to Gina. The robot goes to the latrine to discharge the compartment with 85 francs en route. He meets Mark, Gina's neighbor. The man isn't not interested in the neighbor and compromises Dave with brutality on the off chance that he makes Gina extremely upset. The commander genuinely doesn't have the foggiest idea how he can like a lady the size of their logical center. Dave sees Joke being harassed by the school menaces. The android shakes out all the babble out of the underhanded youngster and takes the inestimable circle from him. However, Dave figured out how to become joined to the new colleagues and needs to say thanks to them for their assistance in finding the gadget. He takes them to a Cuban cafe where they have a good time, drink mixed drinks, and dance salsa. While the android was messing around with individuals, the humanoids likewise figured out how to feel compassion toward their way of life, side interests, and culture. After entering number 4's office, number 3 finds that he has changed it into a pop diva's home. He chooses to accumulate similar individuals to organize an uproar on the boat and eliminate the chief. In the meantime, the police are at last ready to find the man from the face cast. They show up at the coffin and confine Dave. The commander arranges his subordinates not to oppose to keep away from non-military personnel setbacks. The android is taken to the police headquarters, and Gina and Kid around are left totally baffled. Dooley and Knox examine Dale to figure out why he came to Earth before the man can reply. Number 2 phases an upset DTAT and assumes control over the androids. Control community. The triumphant group is joined by number 3, who needs to complete the mission quickly and leave the planet. The humanoids neglect to switch off Dave's amplifier and the police become observers of the discussion inside the robot's head, so Dooley is persuaded that a genuine outsider is sitting before them having acquired power. Number 2 orders the team to shoot Wall with blasters to escape the region. The police take shots at him, however the robot keeps on pushing ahead and obliterate everything around him. Outsider number 17 chooses to escape from the boat and straight into an espresso cup to save the boat from the distraught despot. Number 3 liberates the commander from detainment. Next 2 or 3 attempts to get into the motor space to switch off the robot. However, they are gotten by security. As discipline for resistance, number 2 sniffles the violators out and they end up in the center of a bustling row. Little humanoids are attempting to return to the boat while getting away from the dangers of the tremendous universe of individuals. Number 3 is passed up air onto the street where she adheres to a gum. The young lady doesn't believe the skipper should save her since she is as yet irate him due to the hit the dance floor with Gina. The commander guarantees number 3 that he is just inspired by her and just focused on Gina to bring about some benefit for the mission. The starship runs out of force and number 2 orders the team to snatch a taxi to get to Freedom Island. In the meantime, Dooley finds a humanoid in his espresso mug. Number 17 lets the police officer know that the robot will drain all the water out of the earth. The official places the outsider in his pocket and requests that he show where Dave went. Kid doesn't accept that Dave can do evil willingly. He convinces his mom and Imprint to pursue the outsider to assist him on the island with numbering to gets ready to send off the gadget into the water. In any case, the chief thwarts his arrangements and places the robot into manual control. Irritated number 2 again arranges the skipper to be kept, however the group won't comply. The group no longer needs to annihilate the earth, so they restore the skipper. Number 2 is sent profound into the rear of the boat. The circle incidentally gets no longer any of Dave's concern and falls into the water. He needs to help the outsider, yet he says that his energy supply is running out and the boat cannot remove. The police show up on the island and focus on Dave. The skipper is educated that without energy the shells from their weapons will puncture the boat's structure and the group will experience tremendous misfortunes. Kid snatches an immobilizer from a cop and charges Dave. He thanks Kid Around and Gina for their assistance and vows not to hurt the Earth any longer, but rather to track down one more method for saving their home planet. Number 3 goes along with him and the chief admits that because of individuals he comprehended the sentiments that Gina had when she arranged her image. Official Dooley restores number 17 to the boat and the outsiders are returning home. On takeoff, Dave is encircled by the FBI who toss a net at him. Yet, the whole group figures out how to clear into the robot's boot and fly away to their own planet, departing the collection of Dave and number 2 on the planet. To the acclaim of the group, the skipper kisses number 3 and offers her the place of his main second in order on the boat to guarantee that the gleaming ball traveled to him straightforwardly from space with shock.